So a week ago, no, 2 weeks ago, shit, I put a new serpentine belt in this car, this Audi A4 B5. The belt was on there, it was real old, it was all shiny on the outside, had some splits and stuff inside the grooves, and it was squeaking. So I was like, oh, okay, let me just slap the belt on it, didn't think too much about it. So put a new belt on, all the squealing and stuff went away, but then, like almost instantly, like the next morning I should say, when it was cold, you started it up and it had like a little chirp in it, like a little birdie, and it was chirping away, and as soon as I heard it, I knew the freaking harmonic balancer was, probably just, I don't think it's split or anything, I don't know, I'll take it out and see, but it was classic harmonic balancer. So I ordered one last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. I just haven't gotten around to putting it in yet. It's Sunday, September, I don't know, 8th, 9th, something like that. I had a really busy month at work. And we were working almost 3 weeks straight, so that's over, that's behind us, so it's back to somewhat normal. So I figured I'd put this harmonic balancer in tonight and just shoot a quick video on it. I'm going to try and, my videos are way too long. I'm going to try and reduce them down a little bit. I'm going to pull the serpentine belt off with using the same tool I used when I did the belt in this. I have a separate video on that. And then I'm going to throw this up in the air, drop the pan, and then I'll turn this back on and just show you swapping the crank out. I'm trying to make my videos shorter because they're, even after I edit them, they're still 30 minutes, an hour. It's too much. Yeah, it's too much YouTube time for my face. I'm going to try and make this a short one. Alright, let's get to it. Oh wait, I'll show you the crank pulley, what we're going to put on. I got this one. It's a Corteco. It's supposed to be OEM quality. At least that's what FCP Euro said, and I trust them guys. They don't sell junk over there. Let's see. Get the part number for you. There's the part number. My dogs are barking. So this is what's squealing on mine. And how these work, there's a rubber. There's basically a big piece of rubber in here. And you can actually feel the rubber right here. And after time, they get dried and they can start to slip a little bit. I don't think mine's slipping. But this rubber just gets brittle, cracks. Eventually, they'll split. And then this outer pulley, it can actually break and walk right off on you. So yeah, rather than dick around with anything like that, they're not super expensive. Well, OEM ones are, but this one, I can't remember what I paid for it because it's been a few weeks. I think it was $80. I'm not 100% sure. You stick that part number in FCP Euro, you'll find it. I'm going to try and do this pretty quick. It's hot today. I mean, I say that in almost all my videos. It's September 8th or 9th, I don't know, whatever it is. It was 98 or something earlier. It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Celsius is like 30, I don't know, 7, whatever the conversion is, I can't remember. So it's hot. It's about 5 p.m. and it's probably 80. I think last I looked it was 86. So you just come out here and it's humid. So you come out here and don't do anything and you start sweating. It's like, it's ridiculous. I'm looking forward to December when it's nice weather. Warm, nice, not ridiculously hot. Okay, I'll turn this back on when I'm doing the pulley. So about 5 minutes have passed, maybe, give or take. I used that tool, that serpentine belt removal tool, and then I pulled this. It's like a engine stopper. The front engine, it just sits right here. It's a front engine stopper, just to give myself a little bit more room. Pull the plastic belly pan, and then I stuffed a light up in here, and I threw my triple square on one of the bolts. So I thought I had more room than this. I have about whatever that distance is, an inch maybe. Plus I got to put a ratchet on it and back it out, right? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all these out without putting this car into service position. If you've ever put an Audi into service position, I mean, it's a disaster. You pull the front bumper off, pull the front, basically disconnect the front clip. Now you don't take the hoses and stuff off, and then there's two bars that go into two pilot holes on the frame rails, and then you pull the whole front back, and it gives you probably 5 to 6 inches of space. But you got to pull the bumper off. I mean, that's a real pain. So I'm going to try and see if I can get this out without doing that. There's not much room. I'm not 100% confident at the minute. And the other thing, this car's hot. I probably shouldn't be doing it on such a hot car. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna throw some gloves on or something, but it's pretty hot up there. So I'm gonna try and set you guys up and point you up in there. I don't know what you're gonna be able to see because I can't see anything. So 6 triple squares. I looked at the torque spec. They shouldn't be that tight. Going back on, it's 10 Newton meters, which is not much at all, and then 90 degrees. So I don't expect them to be too tough coming off. The only issue, like I said, there's no room up here. Let me see if I can you guys even see? I guess, yep, you can see it. I'll try and keep that light on it, but I can barely get that ratchet in. Oh crap, we're turning the motor over, that's not good. Because we're turning it the wrong way, right? So, let me get a different ratchet. We're just going to see if we can hit him with a hammer. Ooh, even this socket's hot from being on that bolt. That's how hot this freaking thing still is. Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere in there to put I have pulley holders, for doing this, but this pulley, there isn't any of that, so. So yeah, it comes out pretty easy if you just hit it with a hammer. And once you crack them, they spin right out, or at least this one is. So we should be able to do this job without going into service position, which is fantastic because that would suck. So it's a triple square. There's 6 of them, and it's a M10 that's a triple square. Okay, if you don't know, focus. But yeah, just be mindful of that. If you go on there and start, and that you start barring that engine over the wrong way, you can do damage because the timing components, it has a side that has no tension on it, and you don't want to spin an engine backwards. Yeah. There's 100 reasons why you don't want to do that. And this is just a little plastic hammer, 8 ounce, not much to it. Yep, it's cracking them. So yeah, no problems. There's you can't put this pulley in wrong. There's 6 holes for the bolts, but there's a 7th hole, which is the there's a pin in the crank, the end of the crank, and that's really, it's for your timing and whatnot, right? The pulley itself has marks. If you were to put it in wrong, potentially your timing would look like it's wrong. So in order to stop people doing that, there's like a pilot hole. So you just can't put it in wrong. So no need to, go to TDC or anything like that before you pull this off. I'm just going to crack these while I'm here. think that's them all. Oh, we should be able to just spin them all out. It's so hot. I should take a temperature of the freaking... You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this pulley off. And I'm going to put a temperature probe on it and see how hot it is. In case you guys think I'm being a wuss. Two to go. All right, last one. Let me get a little pry bar. And also make sure I got them all. Yeesh. Be super gentle. I'm just trying to walk this thing off. Don't go all nuts. It's liable to come off and hit me in the face. Make sure you keep your hand up here in case it comes off and hits you in the, right in the teeth. Oh, it's so hot. It's coming off a little crooked too. Yeah, you definitely don't want to break any timing coverage or anything. Ouch. Okay. There's your old pulley out. Let's see how warm it is. It is 140. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. 139. 138. So hopefully you guys are seeing that. It's about 140 degrees. That's, oh, is that Celsius? No. Let's see, how do you make this Celsius? Oh, I don't know what that is. There's a way to hold something and make it Celsius. No, it's still Fahrenheit. So, yeah. Hot. Holy crap, is it hot. Like the floor is 88. Yeah, that's a little, you know, the floor is always colder, but that's a little less than the temperature. Down thing's 140 degrees. Holy crap. So, here's the new one. And don't worry about these. They just drill them to balance them. You know, so when they make this, right, it's not balanced. So what they'll do is just drill a little piece out, little piece out, little piece out, until it's balanced perfectly. And then this is your pilot hole, right? So you got to line this up. I mean, if you could put it on incorrectly, but it would sit, so let's say this is the black and that's flush. If you put it on incorrectly, it would sit like that. So as soon as you start it, I mean, it's going to throw the belt every time. So if you put one of these on and you're throwing belts, you didn't line this pilot pin up. So I'm going to reach up in there with a mirror and some Scotch-Brite, and I'm going to clean the bolt off. I'm going to clean the end of the crank where this sits, and then I'm going to spray this with a little, just a tiny little piece of fluid film, and then we're going to line up our pilot hole. I'm going to slip her up and pop it on. Okay, so a little bit of Scotch-Brite. I'm just going to reach up and clean that crank bolt, or actually around the back of the crank bolt. Scotch-Brite the face of the crank as well. When we put this in, we want it to go in completely flush. No chance of any little rust specks or anything throwing it off. So you don't stick your face under here and start doing this. You want to just be off to the side so none of that crap lands in your eyeballs. It's not going to take me, I don't know if you guys can see that. You see little bits of rust there? They just rust. No big deal. If you were like up in the northeast area of this country, it's bad. I lived up there for 9 years, and it's 9 months out of the year it's snowing and cold, and it's shit. I went from one extreme to another. I went from 9 months of cold and snow, there'd be snow drifts over the top of your freaking head. Well, I'm not that tall, but there'd be snow drifts, 7 feet tall, right? And 9 months of that crap every year. To no snow. I haven't seen snow in, I don't know, 11 years. We got one snow day here once. But it only lasted the one day, right? When I lived in Boston, man, it would snow in March, or September, September, October. That same damn snow would be sitting there in March, and it just wouldn't melt. It never got a chance to melt. It's so freaking cold. I couldn't take it. I can't complain too much. That's where I met the missus. Was up in Boston. She's the smart one. She went to Harvard. Yeah, that's right, Harvard. She's got the brains. Couldn't change a light bulb. No common sense. That very smart woman. Speaks like 7 freaking languages. It's crazy. I can barely speak English. You don't want to spray anything up there because you're cleaning right on the crank and the timing belt's right there. So you don't want to spray anything up there and contaminate your timing belt. You just want to clean it up. Just like clean it with a Scotch pad and just blow the little bits of debris away. This one ain't too bad. You get a little air gun in there too, or a blow nozzle if you need to. This ain't bad. Most of the rust on this, it's on the head of the bolt, not the shaft where that pulley sits. Ugh. Yeah, that looks real good. So I'm going to put a little fluid film on the pulley. Don't spray up there. You spray it up there, you're going to get it on your timing belt. So I don't know if you're going to be able to tell. I put a tiny little layer of fluid film on that. And then if you look in, you see the fluid film sitting right in here. And then once I put this on, I'm going to clean up what's left on around. Actually, you know what? I can clean that right now. But we're going to clean it again just to make sure we don't get any contamination up in there. Now it's really easy to tell how this goes on. If you look up here, my pilot pin is basically 12 o'clock, and that's just where the engine stopped, right? So line your pulley up with your pilot pin straight up, and then I'm going to be lazy and fish the belt up first. so I don't have to come back down under here and deal with that. So you just want to kind of walk that pulley on until it's flush. Never draw it in, ever. And we're still pretty crooked here. Let me see, where's my pilot pin? We need to rotate it. I don't think I'm on. Take another peek. Yeah, it turned on me. Take another peek at where this is. I could rotate the motor over so that the pin's at the bottom. Might make that easier. The way it is, I can't even see it. So yeah, let me do that. It's a 12.19 by the looks of it. And by 12 point, I mean you have to have a 12-point socket. A 6-sided socket won't even fit on there. It looks like a 19, and it is. It is. Never roll this backwards. Always roll it clockwise. This thing has good compression. There we go. So my pilot pin is now right at 6 o'clock. Lovely. So now we're going to hold this guy like this, and we can see the damn pin. So that's going to make that a lot easier. You kind of got to walk it on a little too. Walk it home. Let's see how we're doing. Oh yeah, we're right on line. It's not all the way flush, but we're right where it needs to be. We just need to manhandle it up in there a little more. Everything in these freaking cars is aluminum, no metal. That doesn't even help. Here, trim rail, there we go. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, we're almost there. If we're not there, we're almost there. Oh. Take a butcher's. Oh, we're right there. Yeah, our little pilot pin, everything's lined up. I'm going to slap some bolts in it. Even though it's not all the way home, it's close enough. And we'll just draw it in with these. I'm drawing it in. There's virtually nothing to draw in here. I mean, it's pretty much flush. Oh, getting these out was easier. There's one. Yeah, I mean, I can basically run them all the way in with my hand. It's probably going to draw it in a millimeter, maybe not even. It's right there. It might even be all the way in, and just the mirror makes it look like it's not. It's so hot out here. Although, what's today? It's Sunday, right? There's supposed to be a hurricane coming right for us. And if you look at the trajectory, the middle of the hurricane is like right at my freaking house. You can't even, it would have to move like hundreds of miles for me not to get hit by this thing. And I'm probably 4 hours in from the coast, So when it makes landfall, you know, it's still got, oh, I don't know, probably 250 miles to come before it would reach me. But it's aiming right for me. I've never, you know, we get, you know, with our hurricane season, we get a lot of hurricanes. But, you know, I guess in the country in general gets hurricanes. But we don't really get them here. A lot of times we'll get rain and stuff. And it'll be because one was below us by, you know, several hundred miles, or one was above us by several hundred miles. This one, it's got a hard on right from my freaking house. Like the center of it is literally, if you look at the line, it's going right over the top of the house. So I don't know what's going to happen with that thing. It's supposed to make landfall on Thursday. So I might make for a sweet video though, like a hurricane video. Although I shouldn't say that. Oh my luck, it'll come through and wipe everything out. This is the last bolt I'm putting in here, so, and they're all, I ran them all down my fingers, so they're not going to take much tightening. I want to snug them all up. There we go. You want to tighten these, you know, just crisscross them. Don't go around in a circle. We'll go around in a circle afterwards to make sure we got them all. Yeah, don't just go in there and just tighten them all up in a circle. Just crisscross them. Make sure you walk it on properly. That one has to come down and around. There we go. So it just needs popped over the alternator. And I'm going to drop this down in the grind, do that, and then put it back up. We'll put it all back together. But yeah, I was trying to make a short video. My God, I don't know how long this is, 30 minutes already. I'll chop it up and try and make it shorter. But that's how you replace your crank pulley / harmonic balancer on an A4 Audi. Yeah, don't do it when it's hot. Don't do what I do. I say that a lot. I'm going to drop it down, throw the fan belt on it, serpentine belt on it, whatever you want to call it, and then put it back up. Put that little engine dampener back on, and then I'll start it up, and hopefully the chirping's gone. It should be. I did the test on that as well. I didn't just throw a part at it. It would only chirp when the belt was on it. So what I did is I got a couple of straws, put them together, and I aimed it right at the harmonic balancer, and I sprayed it on the inside of where that rubber ring is, and as soon as I did it, it went away. Of course, once that spray wears off, the chirp comes back, right? When they're chirping like that, I mean, you can put baby powder on them, and it can last a little longer. But then if it rains and water gets in there, it can just chirp it again. Best thing to do is just replace them. They're chirping because they're feeling. Right? They're not chirping just to chirp. So yeah, I'm gonna turn this off, throw it all back together again, and we'll start it up. Here we go. Looks good, no chirping. You always want to take a quick look at your belt if you do something like this, just to make sure. Everything's running perfect. Yeah, so that looks great. No more chirping, which is awesome. Every morning you'd start that thing up and it would be chirp, 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 chirp. And it would last for 20 minutes. And then once it got to a certain temperature, it would stop chirping. But it would drive you nuts every time you start that thing. So this one we know is good because it was cold, right? We put it on, it's not chirping. So definitely this was our issue. You're not probably going to see anything visually wrong with it, I wouldn't think. I think you'd have to torque it. You'd have to hold the ring, and then you'd have to torque this centerpiece of it, and then there's probably some splits. You know, it's behind here, right? So there's a I don't know best way to explain this. So this piece here is rubber, right? So metal, rubber, metal. And what's happening is when this is torquing over, this rubber is it's just on its way out. So it's rubber and rubber, and it's giving that chirping. You know, it sounds like old birdie, right? Yeah, I'm not doing a great job explaining that, but that's how they work. And after a while, what'll happen is this can split completely. It can leave you stranded. So well, the noise alone is annoying enough to spend 80 bucks. I was saying they can look great, and then 2 days later, it'll leave town on you. Who knows where you're going to be when that happens? But that noise was so annoying. I'd have spent 200 bucks to get rid of it. Audi probably charge you $400 or $500 to do that job. Tool check, no tools, good. That's it. That's how you change crank pulley on an Audi A4 without having to put it in service mode or any of that stuff. Definitely need Torx bits. M10 was the bolts in it, and yeah, I'm gonna try and make this video shorter. I'm gonna try.